Good evening, great people. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. Well. It's another great day to talk about real estate. So, before we get started, y'all know let's do a little housekeeping. Make sure to click the like button and the notification bell so that you will be the first to know when I upload new content. So, as you all know, I have been telling you all I'm going to bring you all on my journey as I am building my real estate business. So, in any business, you all know you're going to have hiccups. You're going to have things go wrong. You're going to have days when things go right. And I think that a lot of times when we watch all of these different videos on YouTube, we think, it's all win. And there's no losses because a lot of times people don't talk about the losses. They don't talk about the deals they lost or things that just didn't work out. Maybe the title work didn't come back clear, or there was liens that the seller didn't tell them about, or however you want to see it, it happens. So with that being said, it happened to me last week. I mean, like, really. So let me tell you a little bit about the deal. I had someone call me that said that they wanted to move and they were trying to get out of their property or whatever. And it wasn't a person that had that were behind on payments or anything like that. So I asked them, have you tried to list the property with a realtor? And they were telling me they didn't want to list a property with the realtor because, they knew it has some work that needed to be done. So I actually had kind of like let it slip my mind. And then the person called me back and said, hey, when you'll be able to look at my property. So lo and behold, I went and did what I would do with any of my clients that I work with. I went out, I assessed the property and everything. Come to find out, the person had only been in the property 2 years. So they actually paid $95,000 for the property, $95,000, and their balance was $90,000 for the property. So I know they had repairs to be made. So anyway, I went ahead, put them under contract. Was trying to really figure out which way we would be best for us to go, being that they didn't want to go with the realtor. We're more so looking for a retail buyer or whatever. So anyway, we marketed the property for a little bit, didn't come up with a retail buyer because we were actually marketing it for the $90,000 that was owed on the balance. Is that right? Yeah. So, okay, with that being said, we actually found a buyer. The buyer put up the earnest money. I got the earnest money, called up the seller to let them know, hey, we found somebody, we got a buyer, we're going to turn the earnest money in or what have you. Well, when this went on for like 2 weeks that I had been working with this particular client, after I had obtained the earnest money, the client proceeded to tell me right as I tell him I have the money, this is not a good deal. I was confused. Like, okay, what are you talking about? Because we had discussed, like I said, a retail buyer, or if we couldn't get somebody that could get a loan, what were they willing to do? So they agreed to do owner financing, but they just needed some money to move. So me being me, I was suggesting, okay, if that's the case, if you're going to do that, being that you paid $95,000 for the property, you owe $90,000 for the property. If you do the owner finance, what if I could get the $5,000 back for you which will put the new owner back in at where you bought your property. Let them pay for repairs. The buyer will still pay for the repairs and the closing costs. They agreed, okay, we'll do it or whatever. So went on back and forth. The seller kept calling, asking different questions, but my spirit just was not like something's wrong. So anyway, the seller wanted to know basically how much I was making. The seller wanted to know, well, what will happen if the buyer backs out? I told them, they wouldn't get their money back or whatever. I mean, we went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with this thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm not understanding. So then they said they weren't going to do it. So I said, well, okay, well, you should have told me this before I got the money. You had ample amount of time. We're not strong arming you to do this. You called me asking me to help you. And I was just like, what the world is going on here? So anyway, lo and behold, the seller actually, after he said he was going to go ahead and proceed, he wanted the number to the title company. So I gave them the number to the title company. I mean, I don't have anything to hide. So I gave the number to the title company. The seller proceeded to call back. No, the title company called me back and told me that they were not going to close the deal because the seller now says that they don't want to do it. Not only did the seller tell them that, the seller said that they didn't understand what they were doing. I actually went over with the seller what they were agreeing to over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and asked them, are you sure you want to do this? At one point in time, I was actually on even with the seller's mate. Okay, yeah, they wanted to do it. Okay. Because I called to make sure that the title company hasn't done anything in order for us to just, make it a stop. So they were like, well, what could happen? So I called the attorney's office, and I know the attorney's office was like, well, if the seller backs out, you could sue the seller, whatever. So it was a little bit different situation and circumstances. And so the title company called back and said, again, like I said, that they were not going to close it because the seller was back and forth. They're going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're going to do it. They're not going to do it. They don't understand. They're going to do it. So anyway, the title company just called and told me, hey, we're not going to close this. We know, your integrity. We know how you move. We know that you explain, because I've done these deals with them before. And so what we were actually going to do on this particular deal, it was actually going to be a wraparound mortgage. So the mortgage was going to stay in place, and we was just going to start letting the new buyer come in and assume the payments to the existing loan. So it's not nothing unheard of. But anyway, with that being said, the deal fell through. I just didn't understand. I was kind of upset, not because the deal didn't close, but because of the fact that I had asked this particular client over and over and over and over, are you sure you want to do this? Instead of them just telling me no, they allow me to get other people involved, which means the other buyer and his family, because they were actually going to move into the property. And they were so excited about moving there. So it kind of bothered me because, I have this family here that's involved now. And then I have the attorney's office that's involved because they got the earnest money. And then I have the seller that's saying, I don't know, I want to, I don't want to, I'm not sure, I don't understand. And it was all after. It didn't start taking place till after I had got the earnest money. But anyway, with that being said, I just wanted to let you all know, not every deal closes, okay? Not every deal closes. And you always have to expect the unexpected when it comes to doing real estate. It seems like everything can go fine until you start doing the closing paperwork. I don't know what happens in the atmosphere, but everything that can go wrong, can go wrong. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and share that story with you all. I didn't let it discourage me to the point that I wanted to quit. It made me go even harder because I know what I do. I know the value that I bring to the table in doing this business as well as many others. And sometimes, we just have to be able to keep going and work with those that really want to work with us. And sometimes things like this has happened. Sometimes it's out of our control. So we can't control anything in any situation. We just have to make everything right, make sure we're doing everything ethically, making sure we're keeping our name or business name in good standing, because I told them, my name is all I have and I have to protect it with all I got. So with that being said, I wanted to again come on and share this story with you all about what happened to me, you know. And even with that being said, I actually am working on a couple of other deals right this moment. So I didn't allow that to stop me. It fueled me even the more to keep going. But just know, even in failures, there's still success. And you got to press like never before. You got to keep pressing and pressing and pressing until you get to where you want to be. And not just in the real estate business, in all businesses, you're going to have ups and you're also going to have downs. But if you're serious about what you're trying to do, you will continue to keep going, move forward, and make it happen. But anyway, that's my spiel for the week. And again, don't forget to click the like button. Share this with someone that can benefit from it, and make sure you hit that notification button so that whenever I come on with new material, you will be the first to know. Until next time, have a great day.